Are we already live?
We are live.
Okay. Didn't even get a heads up, people. You see how that is? Hey,
Just do it.
We're about to just do it. Oh, I'm trying to go live on everything right now. Hold on real quick. Forget, we can be live on YouTube early. You all can see how hectic it is around here. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Go live. What's going on, 2Jap? All right, we live on everything. Okay, what is going on, world? I am King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay.
And we are here with, finally have a name for this segment, the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 1. So yeah, cheers. Here we go. We keep starting new stuff. Mm-hmm. But no, so everybody who's been with us for this long, for the videos we've been doing the past month and a half, we definitely appreciate all the support. We're working on providing more videos, more information, which is why, we got to make sure everything is in order on this end before we just start spending our information in different areas. But we definitely here to provide more information. So we got the name. A couple of things I want to cover real quick is as you know, we give away free Bitcoin in all our videos. On the last live video, we weren't able to give away that free Bitcoin because we thought the comments that you all put during the video were going to save. They did not, so we couldn't go back and see the first 5 people. However, I have pen and pad this time. We're about to go old school with it. We'll make sure we get all the comments we asked for or whatever so we can give you that free Bitcoin. And of course, if we ever forget to give it to you on an old video or something, do as you've always been doing. Just keep pinging us, email us, whatever. And we'll get back to you. We'll check it out and we'll get back to you. So we definitely appreciate that. It isn't intentional. Mm-hmm. All right, so what are we talking about today?
Well, big week in Bitcoin, altcoin world, especially China. Everybody's been talking about China.
China's on it. And he's wearing red today. I think we got to spy.
I wore this. I wore this because I need to wash clothes. But actually, China is. Everybody. I've been in it long enough now. This is probably the 15th time China has done some announcement or made some proclamation that it's illegal or we don't take it or we don't. No, it's just a game that they play with their own people. You kind of get a glimpse into how China does their own people. They kind of just put them in panic mode, make them sell, and then they do what they do with the price drop, buy into it. So they're doing it with crypto. They basically panic. Everybody say, oh, ICOs are illegal. No ICOs, no initial coin offerings in China, which is hilarious that all these governments keep making rules for something that can't be regulated.
Right.
It's like they just use a VPN. I don't know what else.
So yeah, I'm glad you cleared it up because the common misconception on like every forum, chats, online everywhere, even international, I get the private messages from buddies I know overseas, and people are either clearing up, arguing, doing all. But everyone at first thought China said Bitcoin is illegal. China didn't make Bitcoin illegal. Like Bitcoin, they said they only said the ICOs are now basically illegal. Yeah. I think it's only is it still for accredited investors as well? Just
Yeah, it's certain ones for accredited investors.
So if you're rich, you can still do it.
Yeah, you're fine.
But if you're not rich,
if you're poor, you messed up like always.
So as far as like from a numbers game, you're looking at what? I think this year already we hit like a 1.2, 1.6, 1.4, somewhere between 1.2, 1.6 billion dollars raised from ICOs. We talked about that in our last video. ICOs are initial crowd offerings, which is basically like an IPO. You can initial coin offerings, but you can crowd fund for money. And China said that's illegal. The United States have been going by a case-by-case basis since the last, 3 or 4 weeks? So the U.S. just did something, and then China followed suit and just chopped it off. Of course, this is only for people who don't have money. We want you all to understand that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, accredited investors are fine. Even in America, you can't invest unless you're an accredited investor. For most stuff, or they just don't allow it at all because they don't want to mess with the U.S. And China is trying to, I guess, mimic that, so to say, but you can't shut it down. I think people need to change their way of thinking. They keep thinking governments can just tell you what to do, and there are plenty of people worldwide who are like us, laughing like all this regulation. They just telling you stuff to do it, and people panic. And
and then going back, so first is like how you said, everybody listens to the government. Government says this, that, and other. People, you are free to do what you want in your life, and you're free to move, if it doesn't work. But right now what we're seeing is that knee-jerk reaction, and the craziest thing I don't get is why. Because first of all, governments are made up of people. They're your cousins, your uncles, aunts, moms, dads, sisters, brothers. The government is us. We need to all start to realize that the government is us. It's not like this us versus them. So we have this new technology that isn't going anywhere. That's an amazing technology. And instead of looking for ways to implement it and like really bring it on board as fast as we can, we're going to learn from our mistakes. But instead of doing that, every government's fighting it. I just don't understand that from unless it's, like I said, I hate to do it, but unless it's like a more sinister reason, I don't understand why it would be so much pushback.
Well, it's to me, it's fake. It's fake pushback in order to lower the price so they can get it themselves.
But that's why I say I don't want to be so sinister, but it's like, it's no other reason to push back, like you said, unless you're going to lower the price. So
and they've done it so many times now.
And even from once I always go back national security, I think China might almost be playing with it just to test it. Like I said, you don't never go across the line, but you always want to push those boundaries to see, all right, how's the market going to react? How is the world going to react? How is the United States going to react to this? And now they know. And then, maybe in another couple of years when it's worth more, might push that a little bit more and then see, what happens next.
But I will say, since the last time it happened, that China quote-unquote banned it or
Russ
whatever.
So forth.
I will say Bitcoin has recovered faster than ever. So as we see, it's starting to get to a point where people are ignoring what they say. Now, altcoins is a different story. Right. There's still knee-jerk reactions because they're very low volume, small cap. Most of it's speculation. A few of them have some utility, but like I said, most of them is just people jumping around. But with Bitcoin, it only took 36 hours for it to return to the level it was. I mean, it literally was like a day of shock, Tuesday, and then all of a sudden halfway through Wednesday, yesterday, right back to pretty much normal.
Just got in a new amazing invention. Somebody wants to create this out there in the Bitcoin blockchain world. Let's start giving reporters in news media places a grade every day. Let's grade them. And they get an average, like a Yelp review almost. They get an average for the grade. Because, like I said, it took 36 hours, but within 12 hours, there were so many I told you so. This is going. And these people, on national TV, these people who've been in stocks for years and all this good stuff. It's like, A, you don't even realize what China did because you're not really in the industry. You're just looking at the price alone. And then, hey, what's going on, Mr. Helms? I'm great. And then B is just like, you have no experience with this. Like, as far as you have no experience with a 20% drop in one day, because a 20% drop in a normal market is, the market's crash. It's a big collapse. Like, that happens. It even happens to godforsaken Bitcoin. So we saw it go down like 42 or 40, almost 4,100, 4,200. And today is back to 4,600. We've been up all night already talking to people overseas. And this morning around like 7 or 8 a.m. Pacific, like everyone had memes and gifs talking about something. All right, America, it's your turn. Like, they're passing out the baton. Right, they're passing out the batons. Like, everybody was like, all right, America, do your thing today. So this is the type of interconnectivity that's happening across the world where we're literally talking to people, making payments, and doing making moves as an entire world, as one organism, instead of doing all these things in separate communities. And because of that, you can have a price that drops down $1,000 and goes right back up the next day.
Because, like I said, the interest and the utility behind Bitcoin isn't going away. So as far as it dropping, it's more of the just the panic sale or the shorters or whatnot. But long term, like we always say, still looking perfectly fine and looking even better because that drop allowed a lot of people to buy back in at a lower price. So most of the time, any type of sharp decline or quick drop is actually fuel for the next leg up, as traders say. So I'm not worried at all. I will say some of the stable alts that have been going with this news, those are probably the alts you want to watch. Because if at this point there's an altcoin that isn't reacting to news, then it's pretty much on par with the trajectory Bitcoin went, where it was, news drop for the first 3 or 4 years. And then now it's getting to the point where it's news, slight drop, and nobody cares anymore. Like,
it's taking off.
People are like, and most people that have been in it now for a while kind of laughing because, like I said, they do this over and over and over. Same thing. They don't have another way except to scare you. So stop being scared and
buy it. So with the Wuxi, like I said, it's a 1.2 to 1.6 billion market. China did have about $400 million. Well, I won't say market, but 1.2 to 1.6 billion dollars that were put into ICOs this year. China was about $400 million responsible for that. So that is a huge chunk. We're looking at almost 25% chunk, 20% chunk or whatever. I was talking about head. So it was a huge market, but this is what happens. And this is the beauty of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, this international community, why it won't die. As soon as China made that decision and it tanked, Literally the next day, a hedge fund in Russia came out and said they're ready to put $1 billion into ICOs only.
ICOs.
Like literally, like what 36, like you said, 36, 40 hours later, there's a new country, there's a new backing of VCs, people with money, and they're like, all right, you guys want to do it? We see a market, people are throwing their money at it. We'll do it for you.
Yeah.
So that's what's, like you said, that's what's going to keep happening. So people are going to step back, and other people are going to step up.
Yeah. And as far as ICOs in the legal sense, like the regulations they're going to try and put down, it'll be interesting to see if people would just say, nah, we don't care about that, we'll just go to another country, or if people will say these regulations are good because now we can get accredited or big time investors to gain more money. So it's kind of the balance of, do I want to do it the way I want to do it, or do I want to do it the way they tell me and maybe make more money? But at the same time, great ideas are going to flourish either way. So if you do it here or if you do it in Switzerland, if it's the internet, people can find it, people can list it. So I think it'll be interesting to see if people will leave their countries, or I mean, we've seen it. We're starting to see tech people in Silicon Valley.
They're getting out of here.
I mean, they're moving because they're like, regulation-wise, what are you doing? Technology is pushing us forward, and you know, these people in the back are yelling to the front, slow down, slow down. It's like, no.
And of course, unbiased, you know me, hey, we're talking about business. I can really care less your political left or right. But this is the one thing I'll ping Trump on, because, you know, he's talking about bringing jobs back, bringing money back, bringing all this stuff back, whatever. But it's like, this is the thing. Like, this is the thing in our country making the most money right now as far as percentage or your percent yield on it. So the fact that we're getting pushed out, and I get it, maybe they'll let each state do their thing, you know, and some stuff coming down the pike already that some conferences already had. There's stuff coming down the pike as far as state laws, if they can agree on it. But the point is, like, this is the time to take charge and allow us to make money as a country.
Yeah.
But
and I want to comment real quick. Politically, if you wanted to use it, if it was something that could go, we could turn this into the space race of the 70s, 80s. We could just say,
yes, right. Hey, it's crazy.
America needs to be the best blockchain developers in the world. Russia and China is our competition. Go. You would see the entire community, almost tech community,
the entire world, I think, would join.
I mean, people would just,
if you put like that, like a space race type deal.
Yeah, who can make the best blockchain technology? Because in the future, if you really think coal mining is going to be a big thing, or bringing back a job at a steel mill, then I'm sorry, 40 years too late. But what will be coming is artificial intelligence, blockchains,
that's here.
The ability to code, the ability to use cryptocurrency. So for those people who want to bring back jobs, I mean, you don't have to bring back anything. All you got to do is just go get blockchain or those type of jobs. And if you want to rattle, you know, get everybody hyped up about it, just say it's an arms race.
Yeah,
and nobody will die. Nobody's dying from. I mean, maybe some people may get hacked, but nobody's.
And I mean, that's an even bigger point. You know, every day all you hear is about, you know, which is why we do this business stuff. How to make more money. How to do this. Like, we're telling you, jump into the blockchain. You know, jump into this technological fintech space, and it's like, this is what's going to be happening in the next few years. I mean, I don't know. Be honest. How many of you all sit at home and do this at 10 a.m.? And, you know, like, figure, like, there's ways to do this. With all that though, I will, as much as these guys are all the way on the right track, I understand where they're coming from. SEC chief, United States SEC, they call they call malicious ICOs roaches, or he called them roaches. And I'm with them on that. And I say that to say this, you know, we get a lot of requests to do ICO stuff, and we will actually start doing more unbiased ones. But here's the thing. For all these ICOs that's doing all this marketing and pushing out all this stuff to the public, you know, there are scam artists or con men, and they think they're going to get that quick buck, then no, we are going to call you out on that. You know, like, I swear, I'm not for sure, so I haven't said nothing, but it's been a couple of ICOs I've seen that I've spoken to people. I'm like, it's kind of look like a scam. Like, do you really want me to go on public, you know, go on record and talk about this? I'm going to be honest and unbiased.
Very scammy.
And I would destroy it, but
real scammy.
Yeah, so we're not into malicious ICO, so I do get the SEC, I do get China one to regulate it. I think the way they're doing it is wrong, but, you know, I get it.
Civic is a good example. I heard Vinny Lingham whispers that he'll be on the consulting team, so to say, to show people how to create ICOs correctly or how to do it correctly, because that was the only ICO I saw that was completely regulated, and they had the tiered system of investment, so you didn't have to be an accredited investor. So, I mean, if ICOs going forward have regulation, I wouldn't be surprised if it's similar to CivicKey or similar to some of the big ones like Ethereum, which was, you know, huge. The biggest of all time, or Ethereum Classic coming next. And Ubik, I will say too, that's another. These are smart contract platforms like that. Basically, they can give ICOs. So, it'd be interesting.
And then, what was it? I forgot. Just so you all know, also you can check us out. We're right now on Facebook Live. We're streaming from YouTube Live, and we're streaming from my ICO Live on KingBless.com. ICO Live. Facebook and YouTube is at Kirby Crypto, KRBECRYPTO. For the free Bitcoin, though, you do have to be at Kirby Crypto, the YouTube channel. That is where we give the, we don't have to, but that's where we get the most at. So I would say get on there.
Yeah.
So next, did you want to go just tap on Ethereum? You said Neo, Binance.
Well, some of the ICOs got to give their money back. So
that's like, it's not funny, but it's funny.
That's hilarious. Funny. Yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, you do an ICO. You and your boys in your garage, you're like, oh, we made $1 million.
That is true.
And then all of a sudden, somebody sends you we got your IP address, but dude,
we're gonna need that money.
We're gonna need that money, brother.
It's like, but we just bought a new office space. Yeah,
send it back.
It's a tough world.
Send it back. Should have bought Monero.
Right.
So but yeah, ICO's Binance, which was a pretty big one. They're on that list. It's a whole list. It's about 50 or so on that. Some of them were incredibly stupid. I was like, how did they
how did they get listed to begin with?
How did they even start? But
yeah,
that's what the Wild West is.
This is the Wild West.
There were people putting up template websites with just words that sounded good, and people were throwing, hey, I put 100 in that.
Back to the point of people emailing us through ICOs, which we don't mind. I've actually emailed people back like, hey, if we're gonna do it, I'd rather do an interview, so we're talking like this, and we can, and people can see your real reaction. We want to know, are you the real deal or not? And with that, some of the stuff we receive, we go do our homework, and like I'm calling them like, man, check this website out. Like it looks like a third grade. It literally looks like a third grade design some of these websites, but you want me to invest millions of dollars into it.
Spell words and
I was Navy Poleco.
Yeah, like what? Come on, man, get a spell check. Something,
right.
Man.
So with that, once again, we do understand the regulation because the crooks are coming out, but what is it?
You policy.
Oh, no. I was PR, so I bridged the gap between both, just like we bridging the gap right now with crypto and regular people. Yeah, so this is what I do. So next thing we wanted to talk about in this video was the crypto debit cards. Yay or nay? Are you for it or against it? Let us know in the comments. You want to elaborate a little bit on what's going on in that space?
Well, yeah. I would say as far as bridging the gap goes, credit cards with crypto on it is a great way to bridge the gap for people who don't want to actually use cryptocurrency for payment. Because there's a few people, older, not as technologically sound. They kind of just like, well, I just want to use the card. I like to profit from it, but I just want to be able to spend it. So the cards are a great way. I've seen BitPay's Visa card has done pretty well, even though BitPay's kind of shaky right now. I don't know what they're doing with the SegWit 2X thing. But at the same time, business owners who accept Bitcoin as payment can use that debit card. Regular people who want to use the debit cards, like ShakePay is one. Credit One, is it Credit One? Yeah.
Oh, you good? No, you good.
Yeah, well, it's a few of them I think are pretty good, but as far as bridging the gap, I think it's good for now. I think consumers will make their choice eventually when it's so easy to make digital payments. I think our grandkids will laugh at credit cards the same way we laugh at floppy disks.
Right.
So,
and that's the next stage we're at. So I get it. Like Bitcoins, they say, you're putting something about Bitcoins or different cryptocurrencies on credit or debit cards, so you can just go to the store and slide. And one of the things is, of course, to adopt it, which is how it probably will get adopted, is having that underlying technology that you don't realize we have. But here's the most interesting thing to me about that whole scenario is the fact that, for one, people always talk about cash, specifically Americans. We've already been cashless. In America, less than a quarter of the population actually use cash, okay? So that's already said and done with. Now you ask, well, you're not using money, but it's not cryptocurrency. Well, yeah, you have the banks that control your money. They give you the credit cards, they give you the debit cards. Now you have Apple Pay. Once again, Samsung Pay, which are all controlled by corporate entities. Like, people are not getting that.
And they created after Bitcoin.
Yeah, and they were created after Bitcoin because they saw the writing on the wall as well. So we're already getting away from cashless society. That's going to be gone. Somebody was kind of going back and forth, but not back and forth. They just, we were talking about our comments. They're like, I don't think it'll ever go anywhere, which it might not. But as far as the adoption with it right now, is already less than 25% of the nation.
And they've already called for it.
Yeah. So that and with credit cards, totally off topic, but kind of just to circle back around last week with Hurricane Harvey. Definitely pray for those folks as well, the people in Florida as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
and the Caribbean, Puerto
yeah,
Rico.
and the Caribbean.
Puerto Rico maybe without electricity for 4 to 6 months or something like that. It's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
So all the world, it's craziness everywhere. So just everybody. But one of the things we want to look at from the hurricane that touched down in Texas and Florida is the debt that's causing. I mean, we have to be realistic. It's about to cause a lot of insurance debt, a lot of money for cleanup. Like, it's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to cost our nation a lot of money. Not only that, don't we have like the National Guard down there or something? We got all types of reservists and government and military agencies. All that costs money. I say that because we're on the horizon of a possible debt ceiling rise in October. Mm-hmm. So factoring in the debt ceiling that might be getting risen, as well as the stuff that's going on with the national disasters, it will be interesting to see. Since we've never seen Bitcoin in a bear cycle in the stock market, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in the next few weeks. Yeah. And you've been calling it, he's been calling it literally since last year. He's like October of this year. There's so much stuff going on. Then adding these natural disasters on top of it.
Right after fall season, so it's kind of lining up. You got natural disasters.
Why?
You got North Korea sending missiles. You got debt ceiling coming. You got Bitcoin, of course, as an option, but you also have gold and silver jumping as well. So that's sort of an indicator that people are moving their money out of fiat, which is good for Bitcoin because ultimately people will start using Bitcoin once they see the use case. So. Yeah, it's all coming at the same time, which is kind of weird. I mean, like all this stuff is just kind of, it's like a storm coming, so to say. And right now it's just a waiting game. Because like I said, last year I saw it just from a trader standpoint. I kind of saw like in a year we'll be sitting here with at least a $5,000 Bitcoin, which pretty much happened. But my thinking wasn't as much lifestyle wise; it was more technical. But as we got closer, everything just started lining up for it. Like, I mean, wars and shit. Like, we weren't talking about war, and I'm not a political person, so I don't really think about who's in politics. They say what the people who paid them told them. So I'm one of the people with the money, so I don't really care about the politics.
Right. I think that's going to be the biggest thing too. That is coming out of this month. Who knows what happened, but. Just in the next 12 to 18 months for sure, there's going to be some big winners and going to be some big losers. Like, it's not going to be a lot of people in the middle ground. I'm telling you that. It wasn't a lot of people in the middle ground back in 2008. It's not going to be a lot of people in the middle ground here. It's going to be big winners who are about to see all types of collapse or natural disasters or whatever. They're going to capitalize on. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. And then there are going to be some big losers. And you talk about capitalization, once again, just from a business standpoint, what I'm about to say, this is it's almost cruel. It is cruel, but this is how your mind has to think and operate. Because if not, there are others. And the one I'm about to tell you, there are others that operate like this. And if you don't know how to keep up with them, they will surpass you. And depending on their intentions, will depend on your future. And what I mean by that is with these hurricanes in Florida and Texas and all this stuff, and all these property damage and everything's getting destroyed, housing prices are dropping. I mean, there's mansions down there that already are way undervalued. If you look at it like, a mansion in California versus a mansion in Texas, huge price difference. Mm-hmm. But, housing prices are dropping there because of the natural disasters, and there are people about to come in and buy it right back up.
Mm-hmm. Every disaster, somebody gets rich.
Right. So think of that on a holistic level when it comes to the nation, when it comes to this, the stock market, our debt ceiling and all that. Whatever happens, when it becomes negative, there are going to be people that are going to hop on the opportunity and take more. So even right now, we look at Bitcoin and crypto. People always talk mess about it, and as we always say, just short it. But for the people who are shorting it right now, I mean, they think they're going to have a big advantage if it does go down, but they're getting destroyed. And the people who are going long, they're making a ton of money. Once again, that middle ground is eliminated. There are people who are playing for keeps on both sides. So.
Yeah. And those people that have the money to just go buy real estate and buy mansions and all that stuff, right now is them. But going forward in the future, if you're in the top 1 or 2% of Bitcoin holders, that'll be you. Whenever there's in the market, whenever stuff is going terrible, you'll be the one that's like, oh, this is amazing. Now I can buy all this stuff cheap. Which, I mean, in order to be in the top 1 or 2%, you need what? I think 7 Bitcoins to be top 2%, and I think 15 to be top 1. So going forward in the future, if you're one of those people that have the means to buy goods or buy whatever you need in times of disaster, that'll be you. So, it's just kind of a changing of the guard while life stuff happens, because this happens every year in fall, pretty much same time every year. So, just gotta be prepared.
So, it'll be interesting to see. And then, once again, we honestly want a lot of people's thoughts on this Bitcoin and cryptocurrency debit cards. There was like a lot of back and forth going on online. Some people are thinking it's becoming way too institutionalized and traditional. But then some people are saying, hey, we won't never get to that point if you don't allow the mainstream adoption to come. It can't be your dirty little secret. In order for it to grow, you got to let people know about it.
Yeah, I kind of don't like the free market Bitcoin people who then get mad because somebody creates something in the free market and they're like, well, it's undermining the moral authority of Bitcoin. And it's like, what are you talking about? You wanted a free market, you got it. I mean, you're going to get terrible ideas, you're going to get great ideas, you're going to get ideas that's going to maybe put you out of business. You may have an idea that puts you out of business.
That is true.
That's a free market. Like, you can't complain because, okay, Bitcoin's great, but somebody sees the opportunity that, well, there's a small amount of rich people that have it, there's a small amount of poor people that have it, but the middle class, there's millions of people that need to use it. And that's the only way they're going to use it is if you give them a credit card. Because I know people right now that if I hand them an Open Dime or a Trezor or even send them Bitcoin on their phone, they just kind of stare at it. But if I hand them a debit card that says it's $100 worth of Bitcoin on here, they're like, oh, cool, I'm in there. So that's more the middle class wave right there, which is the biggest chunk, of the market share. So, I mean, I can't be mad at it. It's free market. Do what you want, and, they the win and survive. I mean, I would definitely look into creating them. I would probably use one just for.
I would use one. I definitely use it. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about. I was like, I'll use a Bitcoin, debit card,
just for convenience. I mean, it's amazing. But going forward in the future, I'm sure there'll be some type of innovation where digital payments will be so quick. It'll almost, you'll look at your debit card, but I can't believe we used to stick this in a machine and stand there and stare at the cashier for 3 seconds and wait for it to tell me to put in my number, wait for them to approve it, and then all that. It was like, God.
I would say like the best way to look at the implementation of Bitcoin and crypto in general is look at how like you said, the floppy disk earlier. Look at how we do music almost, or videos. We went from tapes, or the cassette tapes and VHSs, was literally teenagers these days have no clue what that is. They can program a computer, but they have no clue what a VHS or cassette tape is. Then we went to CDs and discs. Then we got the Blu-ray and the HD CDs, the Listen Better and the See Better. Then we went to Bluetooth or whatever, Bluetooth, Blu-ray, and now we're on streaming. It's the same with money, except money right now is still at its cassette. Well, I won't say cassette. It's at the CD stage almost.
CD stage.
It's like it's a CD going into that Bluetooth stage with you got the Apple Pays and some of the credit cards and debit cards, but now we're trying to get to streaming. That's all this is. We're trying to get to streaming with money to where money is instantaneous and as cheap as I don't know what. There's no reason for us to have to pay somebody a chunk of that money just to use it or receive it. So
absolutely, yeah. And I can already see some of these people that are looking at Bitcoin. They're gonna have to explain to their kids and their grandkids, 10, 15 years from now, they're gonna be like, so you mean to tell me you heard about this and you didn't do anything about it? The same way, some of us question our parents like, so you saw Google, a search engine, meaning you can find anything in the world and that didn't seem appealing to you. I mean, I've asked my parents, I was like, I didn't think Google none of it. So, I mean, hindsight is 20/20, but at the same time, if you know things are going to change, look for where the change is happening and then invest accordingly. So it's pretty simple, but it's also complicated at the same time for some people. So.
Right. I mean, bottom line is that, like you said, change is happening. This is not possibly or almost about to or going to disrupt the technology or the way of life. We're already disrupting it. It is already happening. We're literally in the moment. We're on the front line. So it's not going back. What is that?
Do I only feel that way about Bitcoin, or what about other coins? No, actually, I love Bitcoin, but I'm very bullish on a lot of coins. Litecoin, Monero is actually my favorite coin that's out. If I had a favorite, so to say, because of the privacy part of it, and I love Fluffy Pony and that whole community. It was built from the ground up. I love organic stuff, so Monero is my favorite. Litecoin is great. I think in the future going forward, the two biggest ones, I think IOTA is.
Everybody's talking about IOTA.
IOTA is great. That's my baby right there, and then OMG is as far as scaling wise of where it's gonna go. OMG has that Ethereum potential. Like right now, it's at $11. So was Ethereum last year, and now it's
that
like
is true.
So.
And listen, we sold a lot of Ethereum when it was low because we were just like, oh, it's been pretty stalled. But
because I mean, it stalled from about 7 to 11.
EOS is a great price, but people are. Everybody's not on board with it, but Tedward also just said something good. He was saying Yahoo was a search engine giant at the time of Google, which is true. And the reason why I wanted to circle back to that is because while Yahoo was a search engine giant, it's because you gave you all these options. Google took over because of its simplicity. That is why Google took over. You can just one key thing, one little bar. You type in what you think or what you want, and they already get the algorithms to find it across the internet. And that, to me, once again, that has a direct relation with Bitcoin and crypto. Cash was the giant, or whatever was the giant, and it's like
checks.
Yeah, it used to be checks. It's like, look how quick that happened.
Checks. I saw a lady writing a check in the store.
That is true. I'm glad you said it. And I mean, even like the banks. I know Bank of America has it, so you can just insert your check in there, and they can read it now and put your money in an account. But people still use checks. Like
my grandma got a checkbook that she will write for some peppermints if she gets it. Checks,
so you're talking about the speed and what comes next. Checks and cash to me are is that Yahoo, and then Bitcoin and crypto is the Google. It's just boom, here you go. Like, what do you need to know? Just put it in the bar. The blockchain technology will fix it for you. Bitcoin will, and as a precursor to, I won't say precursor. One thing about the blockchain technology, the in quote unquote, I want everybody to understand is that the reason why the blockchain technology is the underlying technology under the protocol of Bitcoin. However, a lot of people have been using that word, specifically corporate people and institutions, because blockchain is much safer of a word than Bitcoin when you're trying to attract that 80-year-old person. Because that 70, 80-year-old multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire, they've heard of Bitcoin because the media, between the media and some of the bad actors in the space, some of the things they've done, it had this negative connotation. So now people are saying blockchain to separate that I don't know the word I'm looking for, but you get what I'm saying. But so just wanted to share that. Somebody I saw, I think it was actually I can't remember who was talking about that the other day, but they made a great point about it.
Oh yeah, Sleeper, Bird, XVG.
All right, now hold on.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Here's my thing. That was a great way to insert that. I wasn't gonna say anything about Verge, but battery's dying on there. I don't know about Verge right now. I would say Verge is about to do good. All right, I guess it's gonna turn to a quick best altcoins.
Super cheap.
I bought some Verge today. I bought actually a lot of Verge today. Two things. We don't want any shilling going on in these forum or in these comments. So I'm not saying
none of your coins.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're doing it, but we don't like anybody.
We don't like anybody.
We do our own coins. But I will say that Verge, you never know because it already went up the last 3 or 4 or 5 days. A lot of things went up like 150%. We look at everything. We're looking at all the coins. So I think Verge already went up like 150% in like 4 days or something. So right now is at a point where you really don't want to buy it. But once again, I guess this is turned into a quick best altcoins. Maybe we'll do this one later or something. With all that being said, I did see Verge's new video. It was awesome. They're bringing the Wraith thing out, which is their new privacy. Yeah, so that did look amazing. At least the commercial did. They do have a very strong community. I did see them on Twitter. I guess they came in second place on the Binance thing to be listed. People were saying they might get listed on Binance. They came in second place behind Stratus.
They ain't getting listed now. Binance is on that China list.
Right. So we'll see what happens with that. And then something else big would have happened this morning or yesterday. I know they're coming out with something on September 12th. I think they're coming out everybody comes out with new little stuff.
Yeah, it's getting listed on 8.
Yeah, 8-hit. Yeah. The other thing though about Verge right now is getting pumped like it's a lot of pump and dump groups in there, which is why I say you have to be careful about buying it right now 150%. So it's
watch my Bittrex video. Watch our Bittrex video and learn how to set stop limits. Yeah. Because you could buy it at 180 sats and you don't set a stop limit and wake up in the morning and it's at 90 and you just lost 50% of your money because you thought it was going to go to 300 or whatever your target was. So set your stop limits with these small coins, definitely.
Yeah, so that's our take on Verge right now. We might do, like I said, in-depth episode because, hey, at the end of the day, everyone decides when they go in and they come out. So if somebody would have went 3 or 4 days ago, they would have got 150% on it in 4 days. Oh, so you caught it at a great price. I think, you got it. That was really good because it went high yesterday and today.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, everybody doesn't know about those stops. So you gotta be careful once again, folks, when you hear about those 100% gains and all that. Once again, the new technology is on the horizon, which it is for this coin. However, you never know how the market is going to react. People are already saying China banned Bitcoins. You know, they haven't done their due diligence. They're just going off the headlines, which is, once again, if you see it in the headlines, just almost think the opposite half the time. It's almost too late. Whatever happened, it's happened, because there are people like, I'm sorry, I keep missing, I think it's Tower or something. Like, he just said something about birds. You see how quick we can spit that information out from somebody we don't know who just said something, a random coin. It's hundreds of coins. Yeah. He said a random coin out the blue as we're about to end the video, and we're ready to spit information. That's how we are from almost every coin out there that we, even if they're insignificant, we look at it. Yeah. So unless you're ready to get that deep with it, either buy and hold, or, just you gotta be careful. Put those stop losses and all that good stuff in. So yes, we're going to go ahead and end this. We're going to try to keep all these episodes at 30 minutes. And again, this is the segment, the Gentleman of Bitcoin, or Gentleman of Crypto. We're going to talk about all types of crypto stuff. And for the free Bitcoin, that's what I was going to say. So the way we're going to have to do the free Bitcoin, we'll do it for YouTube, Facebook, whoever says it first, or we might do it for both every now and then. But the way we're going to do it right now is just going to be YouTube today. And at the end of the video, once we close this video and save it and upload it, or however that works, I don't know.
Once it uploads.
Right. Then comment whatever we ask. And we'll try to make it fair, so it's not like the first person. We've been doing a lot more questions as far as tell us your thoughts when we pick the best one. Which, speaking of which, the Gentleman of Bitcoin, or Gentleman of Crypto, I don't know. The Gentleman of Crypto, whoever picked that name, we're about to go back and we'll find you. We'll send you a free Bitcoin as well.
Cool. So...
yeah, we appreciate the name.
Make sure I send myself that free Bitcoin.
Did you come up with?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
We like the ideas. It was just, just decide.
We might use one. We got a special segment we might do. We're building it up.
Testing it out, yeah.
We're gonna test one out. If it goes well, it's probably gonna take us like at least a week to get it ready. Yeah. But if it goes well, we have another somebody said Teno. If it goes well, we have another segment that somebody else did give us a name for that we'll pay them and use it if we go.
Absolutely, yeah.
But
appreciate that, Brandon.
Yeah, seriously, appreciate all the views. For my ICO Live, I'm gonna stay on with you all so we can go behind the scenes. I can talk to you all and thank you for everything. But seriously, we appreciate all the support. We're gonna continue to do more videos. Oh, that's why I kept talking. 10 a.m. Pacific time. We're gonna try to do these videos every day.
Every single day.
Every day. We're gonna try to commit that to ourselves. Do not be surprised if there's random days you don't see us. Pardon us in advance.
Might be in the wind.
We might be in the wind. We trade throughout the night. It's a 24/7 trading cycle, and we're reading nonstop. We have to keep reading, and we try to have a little bit of a life. So, but we're gonna do our best. 10 a.m. every day. Continue to keep giving out free Bitcoin and bring information. Whoever, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, messages. Feel free to message us. You can find us on all social media platforms at Kirby Crypto, KRBECRYPTO. And for the free Bitcoin today, we're going to.
All right, discuss to us, what do you think is going to happen after this ban? Last time China banned it, price went up, shot through the roof. China regulated the exchanges. With the ICOs, what do you think is going to happen with the ICOs? You think they're going to go away completely in China? Or do you think they're just going to regulate it? Or do you think it's going to be a mixture of both? Let us know. We'll pick the best explanation and why you think that's going to happen. Put your public address. We'll make sure to send you that Bitcoin.
Thank you, as always. Have a good one, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing about live. We need somebody behind this camera just to stop it.